Labour's top team descended on Essex, shipped out of Westminster for set dressing, election-style choreography to unveil a bullet-point pledge card, though no one wanted to use that term.
So here we are. One card, 6 steps, in your hand, a plan to change the country. And these are our first steps. They enable us, if you like, to look the public in the eye and say, this is our down payment on change.
Party strategists think the word pledge from the lips of a politician has been devalued. Tony Blair pioneered the edited-down promise card, the shirt-sleeve look, the presidential campaign style. Keir Starmer insisted he wasn't a copycat.
I do understand there's this, ever since I've been leader of the Labour Party, everybody's been trying to sort of say, well, which leader are you most like? You know, who have you secretly got tattooed on the inside of your arm? And the answer is none of them. Because this team and I, all of our candidates tonight, we have to face the future.
Only a couple of the promises put numbers on what Labour would do in office. There were no fixed deadlines. Keir Starmer said trust had been broken in politics, so politicians mustn't overpromise.
The easy thing is just to pretend we can deliver it all. Nice big wheelbarrow of things that we can deliver. But if we can't deliver it, I'm not going to say it, because I think that's the stable foundation we need in politics and now for the economy.
The Labour leader suggested what the public most wanted was calm, where Tory governments had brought chaos. Tight spending rules, the first promise on the card, would, he said, be the bedrock of his government. I
can hardly believe I'm saying this. Stability is change, and that's why it has to be our first step. Thank you.
That's extraordinary as an opening line for a Labour pledge card, isn't it? Tough control on public spending. I bet your heart sinks when you contemplate being an education secretary with that.
No, after the last 14 years and what we've seen more recently with Liz Truss, we know it's absolutely essential.
A Labour potential Prime Minister saying tough spending rules, the opening line of his pledge. The voters are really terrified that Labour splashes the cash, and this is meant to deal with that.
Well, look, I think, of course, voters want hope again, but they're very cynical. They're very cynical after 14 years where it's really hard to find anything that's got better.
That verdict backed up by some in Doncaster, who saw the billboard version up in lights.
I just think that's pointless. Nothing will change ever.
I really like it. It's more detailed. You can see what he's talking about.
I don't think I'd trust any of them, to be honest.
Just after Labour's launch, I caught up with Keir Starmer and I started by asking him about some of the specifics of what he was promising today. One of them is addressing the shortfall in teachers in schools, and you say 6,500 is what you're promising you will deliver. That is halving the shortfall that we have at the moment. So the Labour government comes in and will be 20% short of the right number of teachers rather than 40% short.
At the moment, we don't have the maths teachers that we need in our secondary schools up to age 16. We don't have the key subject teachers. So we want to recruit 6,500 to do that.
So does this government?
We will abolish the tax break for private schools in order to do so. But we've also got alongside that the work that we're doing to retain the staff that we have.
You are pledging, and it's really not that bold and life-changing, to reduce the shortfall from 40% of what it should be to 20%.
I challenge this idea you put to me that this won't make any difference.
Well, I'm saying it'll make a bit of a difference. What I'm saying is that what you call stability might feel like pretty much standstill.
I'm sorry.
Or very marginal improvement.
For a child in secondary school who hasn't got a maths teacher who's specialist in the subject, having a maths teacher who's specialist in the subject is a game changer.
But engage, please, with my point. There'd still be a shortfall at the end of a Labour government.
No, because we also have in place a retention scheme for teachers to ensure that we retain the teachers we've got, particularly those in their 30s who are leaving the profession.
I'm just going to race on, if I may, to one of the other pledges, the NHS one. Last year, appointments went up 40,000 a week, and that's what you're promising will happen under a Labour government. Right. That's what's already happening. Yet again, a Labour government won't feel like an enormous change.
Our 40,000 a week will reduce the backlog by 2 million a year. That is hugely significant. Now, the last Labour government, you'll remember, set out targets for waiting lists in much the same way, different targets, but with a laser focus on delivering. And what happened at the end of the last Labour government? The lowest waiting lists in history.
This isn't your first pledge card. You did one when you ran for the Labour Party leadership. Very different one. More tax for top earners, abolish the cruel sanctions on benefits, nationalisations coming out of your ears. Some people on the left might think you impacted trust there. Do you think you overdid it there? What was going on?
Well, I think I made a number of commitments when I was running for Labour leader. Most of those are intact and in the course of being delivered. Some have been changed, and you're right to challenge me on that.
Beyond recognition, I think.
Well, I
on the left would say.
Absolutely clear. Economic justice, social justice, climate justice.
Those are terms.
There were a number of pledges under each pledge, but I'm not shying away from your challenge, which is that some of the things that I said I wanted to do, we can no longer afford to do because the government has smashed the economy.
But it's like a different language of politics.
Liz Truss smashed the economy, and working people are paying the price.
So you'd rather be doing that old agenda?
Look,
if the money was there.
I've said, I don't know how many times, to my own members and to others, there are going to be good things, good Labour things, that we can't afford to do. But I'm taking the tough and more difficult course with the electorate, which is to say, I'm not prepared to make a promise this side of the election that I'm not sure we can deliver the other side of the election. And therefore, like everybody, where the facts change, it's important that we adapt our decisions.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.